Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney skipping the traditional Iowa straw poll this summer. His decision reportedly part of his strategy to focus less on social issues and more on the economy. So, is this a preview of things to come maybe in the 2012 election? Here now, Darcy Berner, Executive Director of ProgressiveCongress.org and the Progressive Congress Action Fund, and Ford O'Connell, Chairman of the CivicForumPAC and former Director for Rural Outreach for John McCain's presidential campaign. Thank you both for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So what is the purpose, just first of all for our viewers, the purpose of a straw poll? Is it important? And how will Romney's decision to skip the Iowa straw poll specifically mean for his campaign? So Ford, I'll start with you.
I mean, straw polls are expensive endeavors for candidates, and, you know, at the end of the day, they don't really translate into success at the ballot box. So I think what Mr. Romney's trying to do is he's trying to play it safe and avoid gotcha moments, and he's really trying to focus on jobs and the economy, which will be the determining issues in the 2012 election.
And Darcy, in 2007, the Romney said this in reference to John McCain and Rudy Giuliani pulling out of Iowa straw poll then, said, quote, if you can't compete in Iowa in August, how are you going to compete in January when the caucuses are held? So he certainly changed his tune this time around. Why do you think?
Well, I think he learned some lessons in 2007. He actually won the Ames straw poll in 2007 and went on to not win the Iowa caucuses. It's probably a good thing for his campaign if he's actually focused on votes that matter.
Ford, beyond Iowa, Romney has said that he will, in fact, skip all straw polls. That includes Florida, called Presidency 5, I think. Can you win a primary or a caucus and not participate in a straw poll?
I don't really buy that strategy. I think eventually Mr. Romney's going to have to participate in the straw polls, particularly in Florida, because at the end of the day, it's the Florida electorate that's going to determine this election. With that said, I understand what he's trying to do. He's the front runner, and he's trying to protect his lead and avoid gotcha moments, particularly on social issues from folks like Darcy. We're going to put it in the can, tee it up in the general election, and try to make anything about 2012 not about the economy and help Team Obama.
Darcy, I got to let you respond to that.
I think that the idea that he's trying to avoid gotcha moments from people like me is inaccurate. I think he's trying to avoid gotcha moments from people like the far right wing of the Republican Party. He isn't as conservative as a lot of the Tea Party folks, and that division between the pro-business part of the Republican Party and the very culturally conservative part is the real thing he's concerned about.
And what about that, Ford? What about that division? Does this show that the division is, in fact, larger than any one of us are even aware of?
Well, there is a division, but at the end of the day, look, social issues are no less important for Republican primary voters than economic issues. That said, jobs and the economy will be the defining issues in 2012, and a lot of Republican primary voters understand that.
And now I do want to, in our final seconds here, we have about 90 seconds left, to have to ask you about the big political news of the day. It has been for at least about 3 weeks now, unfortunately. Anthony Weiner, Darcy, first to you. The latest on this, you know, the growing call for him to resign from Nancy Pelosi all the way down. Also, an announcement today that he is going to seek treatment. Do you think that Anthony Weiner can ride this out and survive, Darcy?
Well, I think we don't know yet the extent of what he's done. He's clearly a flawed human being.
Oh, we know a lot, though. You need to know more?
Well, he clearly showed some really poor judgment. I think that if we said that every person who ever served in Congress had to go their entire lives without showing any poor judgment, we'd have a fairly small pool of people eligible for Congress. But I think it's not predictable at this point how it's going to play out. I hope for the sake of his family that he seeks the help that he needs.
What do you think, Ford?
I think Mr. Weiner's arrogance got the best of him, and I think he should probably do what's in his party's best interest and step down. Look, scandals are not new to either side of the aisle, but this is a really big one. I think the Democrats are hoping that he'll do the right thing and walk away.
Yeah, we all make bad decisions, but we're not all United States congressmen. Got to say that. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. Darcy Berner and Ford O'Connell, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Well, we don't all make bad decisions like that.
Yeah.